All right, new condos versus older product, which represents the better value? So going to go over some of these new and recently completed, let's call it in the last 4 or 5 years, starting with Vancouver House. Spectacular architecture, the way it flares out, completely has redefined the downtown skyline. However, not the greatest location. It's lodged between the on-ramp of a bridge. Basically a remnant lot. Yeah, the views are spectacular from some of the higher floors, but not the greatest location, and in my opinion, not the greatest floor plans either. You find this with some of these swoopy, curvy, architecturally significant buildings. The next one, of course, the Butterfly, which everybody's talking about right now. Location, again, not great, very busy. Floor plans, I'll be honest with you guys, they're not good. Basically, the building consists of these 4 cylindrical columns, which doesn't lend itself well to a good floor plan. A good floor plan is going to be basically in a rectangle. Finishings, leave it in the comments what you guys think of this. I'm not a fan. Everything is white on white, gloss white, very sterile. I noticed some comments on social media saying that it reminded them of a clinic or a hospital. Not great. The Alberni by Kengo Kuma, this is a beautiful building. I will say, I was driving past it with a client, a lady, and she actually called it sexy. She said, that is a sexy looking building, and it is. But again, these swoopy, sexy buildings don't lend themselves generally to the best floor plans. Floor plans are not the best, especially the smaller units, and the interior execution is not, it's not as good as some of the other units that I'm going to get into here. And there's a ton for sale, I will say that, especially in that Butterfly building. There is a glut of inventory in these buildings, and I think the prices are going to come down. The Pacific, okay, this is one I like. It's built by Grosvenor, absolutely one of the top tier developers, world-renowned developer. Good floor plans, high-end finishings, all Wolf Sub-Zero appliances, very nice views. That's a relatively new construction condo that I like. One Burrard Place, again, this was built by ITC Construction, very reputable builder. Italian cabinetry, Gaggenau appliances, really, really high-end finishings. I looked at the Landmark on Robson, that's beautiful as well. And the Cardero by Bosa. Bosa is, of course, among the best. Won multiple awards on this Cardero. But if you walk down there from that Bosa build there towards Bayshore Drive, now you're in a real high-end location. Now you're right on the cusp of city and nature. Bayshore Gardens, so this was built in 2006. This has won 5 gold Georgie Awards. Harbour Green 1 and 2, these were built between 2005 and 2008. So again, older builds, but these have unobstructed water, ocean, mountain views, marina views here. These newer builds cannot compete with these older, like the ones in Harbour Green, not even close, superior locations. So better locations, better floor plans, larger floor plans, and of course, no GST on these either. If you buy a brand new, for instance, from the developer from that Landmark on Robson, you're going to have that 5% GST applied to it as well. So, and I've looked at some of these newer builds, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. They're running between about $1.2 and $1.4 million, but the kicker is they're only 850, 900 square feet. So they're really, the second bedroom is really more like a den on these. Let's be honest here. So compare and contrast that to some recently sold older condos, but these all have waterfront views. Okay, I was looking at these today. Luxury Coal Harbour condos, virtually unobstructed waterfront views. There was one on Cardero, 1997 build, sold 1.3. This was fairly recently. 1,180 square foot, significantly larger. There was another on Bayshore, again, sold for 1.3, but no GST, remember. 1,131 square foot. So basically, for newer builds, generally speaking, you're starting around 15, even 1,600 per square foot and up. You can still buy these older builds for 900 a square foot, 950, $1,000 a square foot. Pretty good value there. And they are superior locations, superior floor plans, larger floor plans. Not only that, but I can go back into the strata documents and actually get a feel for the condition of the building. I can look into the reserve fund, engineering reports, get a feel for the history of the building. These new buildings now, there's a lot of technology in these things, and some of it's unproven. I think personally, I do. I think there's better value in some of the older product. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. But I see way better value in some of these older condos. And that's why you're not seeing that glut of inventory. These ones in Bayshore Gardens, Harbor Green 1 and 2, you very rarely does anything come up. Whereas these newer builds, there is an absolute glut of inventory. I'm Jay Cooper. Feel free to comment below or subscribe. See you in the next video.